A marketplace is a community of people, it could be online, it could be offline, who come together to sell goods. Those of you watching this class have certainly been to an in-person marketplace, whether it was a flea market or a craft fair. Even a shopping mall is a marketplace. I would venture to guess that all of you have been to online marketplaces as well, because that's where we do most of our shopping now, online in these large marketplaces. Obviously, one of the most popular is Etsy. Online marketplaces are really effective because people more and more are doing their shopping online, one, but two, they're plugged into how people search online. So it allows people who are shopping for unique goods like a wealth of information. At the same time, it allows them to search really specifically for things that they want. A really good example is when people search for things online, you don't necessarily search for just like shirt. You search for the type of shirt, or the style of shirt, or the color of shirt, or the size of shirt. And online marketplaces allow people to connect with specific goods that they're looking for kind of more efficiently than traditional in-person shopping, where you have to do all that work with your own eyes. I think you should consider selling on an online marketplace if you want to benefit from a built-in customer base. Also, if you're just getting started and you don't have that brand loyalty. So if you're just starting your business and people don't know you exist and you want to benefit from a marketplace that already has loyal shoppers, you're probably a good candidate for selling in an online marketplace. So different marketplaces definitely have different cultures, and that's something to consider when you're thinking about where you're going to sell your goods online. Some marketplaces are based on getting you goods really quickly, and some marketplaces are based on curating certain types of goods. At Etsy, we're really focused on creating a community between buyers and sellers and creating a really authentic relationship between the person that you're buying your product from or you're selling your product to. There are tons of examples of different sellers and businesses that have been really successful on Etsy. Anything from fashion designers to furniture makers to vintage collectors to craft suppliers. And there are certain examples of success that range in different ways depending on what your goals are. So success for one seller might look like being able to quit their day job and really starting a business that supports themselves and their families and their life ambitions. Success for somebody else might just mean getting the justification to make something that they love. So one example of a seller who's had like phenomenal success that comes to mind is Leanna Marshall. Some of you might recognize that name because she actually won Project Runway a few years ago. And she's a wedding gown and accessories designer, and she's just had huge success on Etsy.com. So she makes super unique, really super unique wedding gowns that are really for any budget, and she's had phenomenal success. People love her gowns. And I think she's also successful because she understands her target market really well. She understands that every bride is really super unique and is going to want something super personal for that special day. So she's able to key into that through her designs, through the way she curates her shop, through her photography, through the way that she just kind of creates a buying experience from you from the moment that you land in her shop. Another great example of a shop that's been wildly successful on Etsy.com is Goose Grease. Goose Grease is co-run by Anna and Juan, and they hand make these wooden dolls that are hand painted, and they started selling them as cake toppers for weddings. They now make box sets of toys for kids. They make the wooden dolls custom for different people for different reasons, and they've been able to expand their business enough to support themselves. They run their business out of their home. They're able to spend more time with their kids, but also they've expanded to this small town in Colombia where Juan is from through the use of responsible manufacturing. So they've been able to also bring awareness around these cultural aspects that we really love at Etsy, which are, responsible manufacturing and providing jobs in a responsible and ethical way. So there's a lot of examples of really successful sellers on Etsy, and that's great because that's something that you should definitely aspire to, and we're really excited to help you get there. But you have to start. You have to start at the beginning. In the beginning, it's going to take a lot of motivation, and it's going to take a lot of skills that maybe not all of you have at this point. There's that moment where you become the maker or the collector or the curator, and then there's that other moment where you become the business owner, and that transition requires building some specific skills. So that difference between being the maker and the collector or the curator and being the seller or the business owner, those skills are what we're going to cover together today.